We've got plenty to go over, including the things that will make your tryptophan nightmare fuel as you go through the end of the school year. Mold and other wonderful things related to college. We'll also find out if this is actually a turkey egg. Stay tuned as we talk about the Thanksgiving special of College Success Coaching. Let's get it going. All right, so we're just going to start right off. We're going to hit it up quick. Mug of the week, different edible arrangements mug. I was hitting my high schoolers up with the similar, but not the same. I got a couple of these, not going to lie. The shape is still awesome on this one. This was more original than the yellow and brown one that I had before. I like this one a lot better because this one is a little wider and it can handle more soup or like other stuff like that you can put in here. Right now you can see it has some delicious fresh coffee. I didn't even bother just holding it in a thermos like I usually do. I made fresh coffee for you because you're also, wow, that's a really bad pun, you bunch of turkeys. All right, so as I gobble that down, let's continue on the punless week of college success coaching. We have to go over the article of the week. As promised, we are going to discuss wonderfully delicious things about college campuses as we get you all ready to gorge yourselves on the bounty of things that you did not kill, and hopefully that you had some participation in cooking at least. But if you are not a subscriber, you are probably watching this either on Thanksgiving Day, because obviously that's what you're doing on Thanksgiving is watching videos of me, or you're just sad and lonely and it's the day after Thanksgiving, the plates are cold, the pumpkin pie is half eaten, and grandma's passed out still from all that turkey. And to you, I just say this, why not join on the regular? Become a subscriber. Jump on to collegesuccesscoaching.com where you can click the link in the description. It takes you right to the part where you can become a subscribed member. That membership is free for 2 weeks. Then you just jump on for $50 a week after that. Really not a big deal considering that the people who are using this service are the ones that are getting ahead of you. So the best thing that you can do is to get back in line. Get with the crowd of people who is moving forward and doing all these great things that we do every week. We talk about the article of the week, but we also do much more than that. You're missing out on more than half of what we do. Conversations, questions and answers, expert advice, tools and assessments and things, all on the website available for you 24/7. Mostly. I mean, there's probably a day in there where we're down for maintenance. Who are you to judge? Stop judging. Anyway, you could become a member too, and then you could be on for our Tuesday college success coaching, or our Monday, or if you're in a middle school class, we'll even take you on Wednesday. We take them all. So come join us. It's a great time, collegesuccesscoaching.com. And you can always feel free to email me, Eric, at College Success Coaching, if you want more information before you dive in and get all the goodness that is CSC. So, all right, with that, let's get started on mold. Yeah, let's talk about mold. Higher Ed's spreading problem, how colleges are struggling with campus mold. The link is, as always, in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, you can look at it right now because I just shared it with you. So, a giant dehumidifier that sounds like a vacuum cleaner was placed in a hallway outside Megan Wilson's dorm room several weeks ago at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville to ward off a menace. Mold. Dun, dun, dun. Cue screaming in the background. Okay, so this screaming could be heard throughout the halls because there's disgusting mold in a lot of campuses, and we're gonna continue to dive into this. But guys, it gets more gross. I really hope you're not eating while you're watching this. I mean, I prefer drinking a coffee or something like that, but eating is not recommended this time around. Okay, you had your second to put your food away. Wilson, a sophomore pre-med student majoring in biological sciences, said she didn't grasp the severity of the mold outbreak until she was driving home for fall break, stopped for gas, and noticed a flurry of texts from friends. The university had just notified students that Wilson's dorm, Laurel Hill, would be evacuated and closed for the remainder of the year, not day. Wilson and her roommate were soon assigned to another residence hall with 2 other women she had never met before. Her family drove into town to help her move ahead of a week jam-packed with exams. That's super fun. I realize that housing is doing the best they can, she said, but this is definitely an inconvenient thing to have to deal with and definitely made my semester harder than it already was. Looks like she's trying to get some points on her final exam. Nice work, Wilson. You're a thinker. Tennessee's flagship campus is one of the many universities battling mold this fall after a summer with lots of rain and high humidity, which some experts are blaming on climate change. Had to stick that climate change thing in there. This is an article about mold. Climate change. Students across the country have been forced to evacuate mold-infested residence halls. Campuses are scrambling to patch together emergency plans while easing student and parent concerns. Also, they're easing their concerns about climate change. They're not doing that. They're actually creating more. I was just worried about mold. Now I'm worried the world's going to end. There's always mold in the air, especially in eastern Tennessee, said Dave Irvin, Knoxville's Associate Vice Chancellor for Facility Services. Wow, that's a title. Knoxville's Associate Vice Chancellor. Well, that sounds like something from Star Wars. For Facilities Services. I don't even know what that is. Like, that's pretty serious, though. But this year's outbreak has been anything but ordinary. Some might even say extraordinary. It's been a bigger issue and happening more places this year than in quite a while, he said. That would make it not normal. And this has it bold. I love the bold. It's been a bigger issue and happening in more places this year than in quite a while. Like that's the takeaway. Okay, anyway. So I gotta rag on these articles. They're just sometimes they're so bad they're good. You know, it's like those terrible horror movies or like anything that Asylum Films makes, like a Sharknado kind of thing. That's what this article's turning out to be. And it's a monster article about giant mold outbreaks. So that makes sense. It's kind of like the Blob. The mold outbreak, oh, God, you probably don't know about the Blob. All right, pause this, except for if you're watching it live. Listen, write this down. Watch The Blob. It's a terrible movie. It's a, like old sci-fi horror. There's an original one, and then there's a color one. Watch the color one. It's great. It's just really bad. But go ahead, watch it. You'll thank me later. Or you'll tell me what a terrible person I am, in which case, you probably really need to hear about this mold outbreak article too. So yeah, who's really winning? I don't know what that means. The mold outbreak followed a summer in Indiana University at Bloomington that is also fighting an influx of mold. The flagship campus is mitigating the outbreak with the help of its new Emergency Operations Center, a facility originally designed to deal with disasters like tornadoes and floods. What's a little mold problem compared to tornadoes and floods? Apparently, it's the same. About 150 students have been displaced by mold, said John S. Applegate, not Applebee's, Executive Vice President for University Academic Affairs. Those students, primarily from McNutt and Foster Quads, have been moved into temporary housing, including lounges, other dorm rooms, and hotels. I'm really hoping I would get the hotel lottery and not the lounge lottery. Some of those students have sued the university. Go figure, people are suing. The lawsuit, which seeks class action status, alleges that the university did not respond to multiple requests to remove the mold and has not provided detailed information about the type of mold or plans for cleanup. Well, that's kind of serious because there's actually types of mold like a black mold that can cause serious permanent lung damage. So fair on them to sue for that information. That's shady. Probably also means that it's one of the bad ones, not going to lie. A spokesman for the university said it cannot comment on pending litigation. Convenient. The university typically handles more mold complaints on a case-by-case basis, Applegate said, but this year's outbreak is a lot of a different magnitude. There's every reason to believe, he said, we're looking at a new climatic normal. Or climatic. Well, that sounds bad. Anyway, it's not normal, and then it's going to be normal because that's what climate is. Anybody else confused by this? A climatic normal? Climate being weather conditions and temperature over a long period of time. Climatic normal is the same. Like normal weather would make more sense because you're talking more than about climate. Just say climate change is what I'm saying. The point is climate change. Okay. Why now? Not why now, say climate change. Heat and humidity are partly to blame for this year's mold outbreak. Poor maintenance of campus facilities could also be at fault. Many parts of this country this year experienced above average precipitation. If maintenance had been deferred, schools in these regions may find themselves with leaking roofs, broken pipes, unbalanced HVAC systems, etc., all of which can contribute to excessive moisture and subsequent mold growth, wrote the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in an emailed statement. Glad they emailed. The sheer size of a campus can make maintenance tougher. We had 22 million square feet on this. 22 million square feet! That's like crazy. All right, let's keep going here. This is really bad stuff. As colleges and universities set their sights on new construction, many are still home to aging facilities. Knoxville, for example, has 100-year-old buildings, Irvin said. Irvin, they had older mechanical systems and aren't as efficient at maintaining temperatures, he said. Irvin. Last summer, Kutztown University of Pennsylvania spent $2 million on HVAC repairs to thwart mold that had provoked an outcry among faculty members. So, okay, this article is basically about how nasty all these colleges are, and they have old buildings, and you're living in a college dorm. You probably have mold in your building, and everything is going to be terrible because climate change. Right? I mean, does anybody else have a different takeaway from that article, by the way? Just want to find out. I'll climb on over to the Q&A. Oh, wow, I've got some comments. Hold on. Ouch, the puns. Yeah, you're welcome. You know, I feel like puns are actually something you inflict on someone in some, that's one of my weird things. Like, I guess it's like this sadistic way that I want to get people with puns, but you know, it's all good fun. Pun. I'm not going to I won't do it, but I really want to. It's all in good pun. I'm not sorry. I'm not even a little bit sorry. Okay. Next comment. Yes, climate change. What's the problem with that? Not like, look, nothing's wrong with climate change. I'm just saying, like, wow, like they really wanted to ram that down our throats with the mold thing. Now, later they tied it in and talked about how, yeah, well, you know, this might be the new norm, but it just seems like it's a little forced, you know, like it's not like the Weather Channel is putting out this article saying climate change to cause more mold in college campuses. This is like an article about college dorms having a lot of mold in them. And then it was like an afterthought, like, oh, put climate change in there. It's like, let's blame climate change and not the fact that they're not maintaining their buildings properly. It's almost like colleges were the ones that were involved writing this. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like there's a different interest than just, like, we get climate change, but like, what does that have to do with this? You should have been maintaining your buildings and making sure they weren't gaining moisture to the point where you have a mold outbreak that is dangerous and causes lots of permanent health problems to your dorm people. So that's more what my point was about that. But good catch. Always like that. Yeah, we had mold and mildew in our campus too. Yeah, I mean, a lot of campuses do. Look, and this is why did I bring this up? Because you are going home now. You will be able to smell your own clothes again and have your home smell. And then the dorm smell is going to smell on your clothes and your sheets. Hopefully you brought those home. Hopefully you're going to be the one washing them, right? You're not going to force your poor parents to wash them, are you? Oh, now that you feel guilty, you won't. Yeah, now you are. Now you're going to wash them. Okay, so, but you'll smell them, you know, like, and I would encourage you, take the opportunity when you get back to really take a whiff. If it smells like mildew or mold when you go into your room, you should have a concern. This is becoming a bigger problem across campuses all over the country. So chances are they will take you seriously. And this is a big health issue. Health issues related to mold exposure include things like rashes and hard breathing and susceptible to colds, lowered immune system, some types of cancer, irreparable lung damage. It's not pretty. It's really not pretty. And I'm bringing this up because this is a real thing that literally nobody will tell you about. Look online, look all over the internet, look up YouTube. I promise you, nobody is going to tell you to go back to your dorms after Thanksgiving break and check for mold because it could cause permanent damage to you. Your parents aren't going to know to ask that. The dorm keepers are definitely not going to ask you that. Your RA hopes to God that that's not what's going on. And the college itself would absolutely never release any of that information, even if they did mold, remittance? Cleaning up. So nobody's going to tell you this. This is the place where you come to get this type of information, this nasty information that is actually going to have a potential benefit to you and really help you out to not get sick, not have permanent lung damage, to be active in your own health and find out what's going on if you have had a runny nose or a sore throat for most of the semester. That's not normal. So You come here, I tell you the things that are important to know. This is one of the big deals that I find. I find that mold is one of the least recognized, biggest purveyor of negative health impacts in people's home lives and their work environments and in school. And I found this even in work environments in office buildings that I've had people say, you know, I never really thought about the mold thing until we got into a conversation about it. I went and asked our building soup in our building that we're leasing out for our company, and they went up and found out that the vent had never been cleaned. The vent ducts had mold all through, black mold all through the ductwork. They had to redo all of it, clean it out. Everybody was off of work for 4 days. This was a big company in Florida. So people were getting sick a lot, and this was because of mold. It is a microorganism. It is not friendly. It does not belong in your body. You are breathing it in every day in small amounts everywhere. Look, I'm not going to make you germaphobe or whatever, a microphobe. The microphobe explodes, shattering the mold. All right, not enough Rage Against the Machine lyrics. You will definitely improve your quality of life with an air freshener, like a air purifier with a filter, maybe one of the ones that actually uses electricity. Find out. You can do an air quality test in your dorm. You know, you can do that. It's not that expensive. And if you aren't getting answers in your college dorm, feel free to just go do, I think they're like $50, $100. You can find out. And honestly, if you call and say, I'm a college student, and the local EPA office in the state that you're in, they will help you out. They'll do an air quality. Like, it's serious. It really is serious. And people are getting hurt because of this. So get it checked out. There you go. So that's my awesome Thanksgiving mold covered blanket that will help comfort you through all of the wonderful food that you're going to eat and go quasi comatose in after so you do that. Pie and mold, but not mold pie. This has been the article of the week.